Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and make a part 2 on my haversack that I'm building. In my last video, the part 1, I just kind of went over why I like the design that I'm making in this one and some of the materials that I collected, stressing the point that I like to go ahead and make sure I have everything set out before I get started, because sometimes when you start a project and you're kind of, say, winging it, because you have an idea and you don't really have a template in mind, sometimes you'll get into it and then you're having to go through, you're short on stuff and you have to go through and improvise, and you may still make something really cool, but you'll have like mismatched hardware or something like that. So like in this case, I had these two D-rings, which is the only hardware on this bag right now. So what I've done is I have sewed this together using artificial sinew, which is another item that I didn't cover. I have this spool right here of artificial sinew, and this originally was one of these. This was actually a gift from somebody, because I just had the little spools and they got it for me when they were doing another order on Amazon, and I have used this, no lie, for 7 years, and it's just now getting to where I can see the cardboard, and I have used this to make every single leather project, and I'm probably going on easily 100 different little things, like leather pouches, these little sewing kits, several haversack or haversack sized deals, and the needles that I use are just, they're from Walmart, and maybe people of, they, oh, you sew, and they'll give me stuff. This comes off in a kind of a flat string, and I actually break it down to threes, and then what I do is I take it and double it over like this with my needle, in there, and then I sew it. And what I do is I go, I'll start from one side. This particular bag I actually sewed across the bottom so that these would be even, and then I went up the sides. But I make my holes with the awl of a Swiss Army knife, or one of these. So this whole thing was done by hand. This has taken me 2 days to make. Probably working a few hours each with breaks and stuff to go check on the kids and do little odds and ends. But anyways, it's so it's doubled up, and then I sew it, kind of my own version of a saddle stitch, I guess it would be the closest comparison. But I go through the holes and then I go back, so you get this double stitch. See, there's no gap. Now I'm showing this to go ahead and show my work. So see, I've got these tails. That's where I tied a knot and pulled it through, went and came back. And sometimes I misjudge. This is by no means perfect. I'm not going to claim to be a professional leather worker. My stuff is rough. It's gotten better over the years, but it's all made by hand. But that also makes this item unique. There may be other leather haversacks out there in the world, but no one else has this bag. This is a one-of-a-kind item. So anyways, what I'm going to do now is just kind of show you some of the mistakes I've made. You can see here, this is the inside pocket. This seam, you can see right there, my needle got a little away from me, or my awl got away from me. I jabbed my finger once. My finger was sore, and I stubbornly carried on, and I've got a wonky stitch line that just adds character. Another thing I've got is, you'll see on this deal here, up where the front panel comes up to the top, when I came through here, I looped it around, but I also looped it around the side, tied a knot, And on this side, I don't know what happened. It doesn't really matter. I got some extra shrapnel here in loops. But what I'm doing now is just going through and burning off my tails. And because artificial sinew is basically not a nylon petroleum product, it melts. So all I got to do, there's leather workers who don't even tie these off, they just melt them. I used to really overbuild. I still overbuild my stuff, but because what I like to do is I may only sew this far and then double back, but if that seam for some reason comes undone, it's only coming undone between here and here. See another tail there in the camera. So I'm only going to lose like 4 inches of a seam, where other manufactured sheaths, you know, or sheaths like knife sheaths or whatever, once they lose a seam, the whole thing comes undone like a zipper. And I've lost knives plop on the ground, and I didn't even think anything of it when I saw the damage. I was just like, oh, okay, you know, I'll fix it when I get home. No, it didn't even make it home. I've lost a fixed blade knife on the ground, and then I had to do something. I think I wrapped it, put it back in the thing and wrapped it and stuck it in my back pocket with another cord or something like that, or tape I had. And that's dangerous, you know, and like that, if this is a survival kit or you're in a bad situation, having a seam break right here and only losing maybe nothing or just losing one thing, you're not gonna, you know, your whole bag isn't ruined. And if you have a little sewing kit, you can fix it back up. But anyways, so that is done. So this is a reinforced strip I put across the back of it where the D-ring and loops are going to be. And now this is where the magic happens, turning it inside out or right side out, because you sew it inside out, face to face, hidden seam technique. We go like this. So all those rough, wonky stitch lines are on the inside, except for where the pocket will be. And this is always a chore because this is bison hide. So this is a very heavy duty bag. But you just kind of go through and push those seams out all the way around. Grab it on this side, push it out. Here we go, getting there. This stuff is awesome. It distresses really, really well. I started doing bison hide stuff here a little while ago when I came across, I usually make stuff out of just scraps I find. Maybe at thrift stores, tear purses apart. I've got, I think you can see right over my shoulder here, I have leather that I found at like a secondhand store, flea market. I have like a 2-foot piece that I found for like $10. If you went to another place, that could be a $30 piece of leather. So I'm always on the lookout for stuff. All right, so that's good enough for that. All right, so now you can see the seam to the inside pocket, and you can see my D-rings. Another little thing I've got right here, the strap that I cut. Oh, here, I'll just use this piece of, the strap that I cut was from a piece kind of like this. So I went ahead and just incorporated that as a bit of decoration. And you can see that the loop, I decided to actually make it off center on purpose so that when my tomahawk is in there, the tomahawk is actually centered somewhat and balanced between the two D-rings. So now I have a one-of-a-kind leather haversack with a very ample flap. You can see that the flap is actually bigger than the bag now. So that is going to make it completely, you know, rain and stuff is going to get down inside of that. This is I'm kind of excited now. I've been wanting to make this for some time. The bottom will work out a little bit more because as I put stuff in it and it gets stretched. I will do a part 3 I just wanted to show what that looked like, you know, with all those goofy stitches and stuff. But now I have this really nice bag, and I could put some finishing touches on this lid. I could put like an X lace down. This is, you know, I like the character of this uneven. This was an edge of the hide, but I could, you know, add some stuff to this, some lacing and stuff. These D-rings are extra mounting points. So I can actually put lacing or cord on there and add external, like tinder bags or something. I'll do a number 3, like I was about to say. When I get the belt, I actually had to order a oversized belt because this is going, you know, going to be worn crossbody style. So when I get that, I'll have to tweak it a little bit, and then I will show how this thing hangs on a video. Maybe I'll actually get out for a hike. And I'm also probably going to plan on doing a build along. I got an idea to build a couple more of these because I have some extra large but really good solid pieces of hide that I found different places, and I actually may go ahead and try to make they're still going to be really solid, but I've learned a couple, or I picked up a couple of a little more head knowledge on some corners that I can cut to speed up the process. And it's actually basically just a simplified version where you don't have these real intricate stitches. It's a lacing technique that it's kind of ugly if you do it exposed on the outside, but I think it'll work on the inside. And I may do a build along to kind of help people who want to make one of these, maybe more on a budget, and maybe a little lower tier skill set. You know, like that. I'm still learning, but I've been making leather stuff for on and off for 20 years. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this one up, and I'll see you on the next one.